and welcome back to Without a Doubt, the podcast. I'm your host, Mad, a cycle breaker, entrepreneur, and a sprinkle of reality. This podcast is a place where we celebrate living life authentically and organically as ourselves. We're the ones breaking cycles, making waves, and living out the truest versions of ourselves. It is June, Pride Month, and how could I be a member of this community and go without advocating this month? If you did not know, I am in a girl-on-girl, gay if you want to put it, relationship. But I have been with Kendra for over 9 years. July will be about 9 years. No, not over. We have been together about 9 years, coming up on that decade of relationship. And I really feel like being a part of this community, I have a lot of stories, insight, feelings, controversial things to talk about. And of course, I need to lay it out because this is our month. Let's talk about the history, though. The history written by Contra Tiempo, it's a dance group from LA, wrote this in their blog. On the evening of June 27th, 1969, people gathered at the Stonewall Inn. It was a gay bar to fellowship and dance. That night of fun and freedom quickly turned into barbaric and horrifying when the NYPD raided the Stonewall Inn, dragging people out to the street and arresting folks for not subscribing to the normal gender rules of what clothes to wear. The events of that night sparked 6 days of protest and civil unrest as newspapers spouted homophobic slurs and police continued to act violently towards gay and trans people. 1 year later, on June 28th, 1970, the first Pride Parade was held in New York City, and it was to commemorate the events of the prior year. Every year following, Pride marches and celebrations were hosted in cities around the world, and in 2000, June was officially recognized as Pride Month. Congratulations, happy 24 years of being recognized. I love that for us, and I love this. I love that the LGBTQ plus community has representation. I love that we're able to take up space, be a part of the conversation, and be able to make change for the future. At least that's what we're all trying to do. I do love being a part of this community, but I think it's also a great time for us to bring up some conversations. I never thought that I would have to come out. I never in my life actually thought about that moment. Never at one point. I assumed in my life I would end up being with a man, and I never thought about marriage. That's not something that was on my I want to do bucket list, but I assumed I would be with a man until I met Kendra. She was the human I never knew I needed. Instantly, we clicked. Falling in love with Kendra was easy, and her being a girl seemed like the hard part. Fortunately for me, I have a very open family and they're welcoming and loving. Me bringing home a girl wasn't really the issue. And I never really even had to come out. I didn't come out. Speaking about coming out, straight people don't have to do this. So why does somebody who is attracted to the same gender, gay, straight, gay, bi, trans, blah, 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 why do they have to do that? Why do they have to come out? Is it due to the fact that it's non-traditional? Straight people don't come out and say, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know I am straight. I am going to be with this guy or I'm going to be with this girl. I'm going to be with the opposite gender. Yay for me. No, they just do. So why does somebody have to come out? Growing up, I had a family friend. He's my age, and he always hung out with the girls, participated in drama club, loved clothes, style, fashion, loves Ariana Grande. Actually, I remember him loving Tweety Bird when we were kids. He was a little boy, and he's gay now. I remember someone in a family saying, well, he never came out to me. But, we all knew, didn't we? Why did he have to come out? Why is this that we expect a grand entrance and announcement from people in the LGBTQ community, but traditionally, straight people don't have to do shit? That feels so icky to me. When I brought home Kendra for the first time, I was just like, hey, here's this girl. I kind of like her, and she's coming over. No big deal. And I had never brought a girl home, remind you. Wasn't normal for me. I never even brought guys home often. It was actually really nice because I've heard so many stories of people being tossed out to the streets, not accepted, being disowned by their own families. And for me, I almost feel like they love Kendra more than they love me sometimes. Maybe so many people just don't come out because of those fears. Being non-traditional, doing the opposite of what is expected, can flip a ton of things upside down for others. So my point being, why the fuck do you do we have to come out? You don't have to come out. You don't have to make a big grand announcement. Just bring your fucking partner home, period. If your family doesn't want to accept it, I don't know what to say, because I am a part of that as well. There's parts of my relationship where this is not accepted in some of the family. And we were friends, Kendra and I, for so long. I just want to remind you that your relationship is valued and it's important, and it doesn't matter what other people think. You don't have to come out, and your family doesn't even have to accept of your partner, gay, straight, whatever. Your partner and how you feel about them and what they bring to your life is really what matters. I was very close to a 40-something-year-old man at the time he was 40, and he was gay. Closeted more or less until the time we met. He was actually very quiet and reserved about him being gay. I remember Kendra asking me, like, hey, is he gay? Or, like, is he just, like, 40 and single? But he was Puerto Rican, Jehovah's Witness, and he would be sinning if he was gay. He told me stories about his sex life when he was younger and how that never really worked for him when he tried having sex with women. He told me he couldn't be who he wanted to be because of his family, his religion, and his fears. He recently, and by recently I mean in the last 5 to 8 years, has become his own. But he just recently turned 50. And for all of this time, he's been hidden behind someone he wasn't actually, because he was so afraid to be himself. I'm so proud of him, though. He's living out the truest version of himself, even though it took 50 years. We deserve to use our entire life to be who we are. Gay, straight, bi, trans, poly, pan, fluid, whatever you label yourself. At my own dad's funeral, my aunt asked me, great timing by the way, are you gay? But she was literally like, so you're gay now? And no, I'm not gay now. I'm not a label person. I don't feel like I fit that box. But Kendra was my first girlfriend. And sure, a girl-on-girl relationship could be considered gay, but I never saw myself as anything other than straight. Truthfully, I am a very open person. Love is love for me, and I never saw myself really being with a girl, yet alone creating a life with one. But when we grow up, we're told and we're shown that traditionally man and woman is unity. There aren't really other realms when you see stories on TVs and things, maybe now in 2024, but I was born in the 90s. If you've been here a while, you've learned that I've never really done what is expected of me. I ended up with a partner who is female, like I am also female. Before Kendra, I just used to tell people I was straight, but I really don't like the labels, like I mentioned before. Maybe I really don't like them now. When people started saying, oh, you're pansexual, I was like, well, I don't really know what I am, but pansexual is just like a sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction to all kinds of genders, regardless of sex or gender identity. Pansexual people are referred to themselves as gender blind, asserting that gender and sex are not really determining factors in romantic or sexual attractions, I guess. And I guess that ultimately that's me. I've been with man and I've been with woman. You could say that's bisexual, but I'm not really attracted to someone, I guess, for sexual reasons. I'm attracted to someone for heart reasons, for love. And I fell in love with Kendra for her heart and for her being human. I remember the comments from some of my friends. One of them, he was gay, by the way, actually told me, this is just a phase. And I don't know why this one gets me so much. Because aren't we all living phases? Maybe you can call them a chapter in your book. You can call whatever the fuck you want to call them, but we are living phases in our lives. Each moment, each chapter, each segment is essentially a phase. For example, growing up, my mom's best friend married and divorced her husband, the same guy 2 times. And then after, ended up being in a relationship with a woman. Was it a phase that she was married the 2 times to a man, or is it a phase now that she's with a woman? Or are we just saying essentially everything is a phase? So using that, and like maybe you've said that to someone, oh, this is just a phase. You know what? Yes, we're all living phases, okay? Let's stop telling this to people. Even outside of the love world, how about we start telling people, you know what? I'm so glad this is what you're loving and doing at this moment, and I'm so happy for you. Why can't we just tell people that? Other things I've also heard from a man, a straight man, a religious man, said it was a waste that I was with a girl. And that was a huge what the fuck moment for me. Like, a waste of what? Of course, I can understand he's religious. He believes what he believes. But what am I wasting my potential on? To have kids, which I didn't want regardless of what partner I chose to be with, man or woman. I just don't want kids. How about we start keeping comments to ourselves about people's sexual, gender, and anything else orientation, especially if it doesn't harm you. What is so beautiful about the LGBTQ plus world is the community. I don't see straight people hosting parades or advocating for being straight. They don't have a flag. As hard and as much as we have to work for rights, acceptance, representation, and so much more, it is so beautiful to see a group of people that can come together to celebrate loving who you love and being who you want to be. It's one of the few communities, in my opinion, that actually has a plethora of different kinds of people grouped into one. We are all still living in a world where homophobia lives. We live in a world where loving who we love isn't always going to be accepted in all places. We live in a world where we have to host parades to bring awareness to loving people. When love is supposed to be an easy feeling, love is not supposed to be hard. More love, less hate. And why does that seem that more people hate on people loving who they love? Especially when it doesn't fucking affect you. We need a Pride Month and we need parades for all the things. We need advocators. We need more rights in practice versus just on paper. Which is also very scary for the community. When rights like marriage, fair treatment, medical care, criminalization of drag shows, and other issues in this community are constantly jeopardized. This month signifies a protest. This is not a party month. I know we host the parties. I know the community brings out the fun, but that's because we have to have fun in all the moments that we have. Life is too fucking short. But this month is a constant reminder that people are fighting for fair right. A reminder that homosexuality is still illegal in 60 plus countries and is illegal to be trans in 100 plus countries. That being gay was a mental illness until the 60s. That wasn't that long ago. Why is being who you are a crime? Why is loving who you want to love an issue? We need to do better, but it starts with every single one of us as human beings. It starts with us accepting our friends for who they are. When and if they do want to make a change, when they do find a partner that maybe we didn't expect for them. It starts when your sister comes home with a new friend. How you treat them, how you accept them, and we all need to do better. I know for me, being a part of this community means that I too have to speak up. I too have to do more. But even before I acknowledged I was pansexual, I was fluid. I had pride for this community. I love love. I actually attended more pride events when I was straight than I even do now, partially due to a lot of the hate crimes that are often at a lot of these parades. Maybe that's my fear in the world, but just about being gay in general. I know that I even have a rainbow sun visor in my car that I flip the rainbow to the inside because I don't want to be a part of a hate crime because I have a rainbow sun visor. That's just a damn shame. And I love who I love, and I've never felt more supported, loved, or accepted than I do now in my relationship. But that's due to my circle, my inner family, and the legit conversations that we have had about the LGBTQ plus community. It means going to the drag shows, supporting your friends when they decide to be trans, supporting your cousin if they do come out as gay, and really rallying for them. Like going to the pride events for them, speaking up when someone goes against them, and telling them that you love them for who they are. Our inner circles are the ones that are supposed to keep us feeling safe. And I hope if you're listening to this, maybe you found something that you can bring to the world to help this community. If you support the community, you know what? You are the community. We are all allies, and we need more allies. We need the love for the love. More love can only create more peace, and that will eventually burn out the hate. My only hope is that one day I too can feel safe as I walk hand in hand with my partner. I hope that I too can still get married when I choose to do that, even though that was never my goal, because having access to marriage is a right. I want that option. I also want the future to be able to love as accessibly as they can. Love is love. It has no color, gender, race. It doesn't discriminate. A heart only knows a heart. And I'm so grateful to be able to know a true love. Even if that means my life looks totally different than I even pictured it growing up. No matter where you fit on this planet, I hope that either you have found a safe place, a safe love, or you too will find that at some point. We all deserve it. Signing off, and I will see you next week. I've got a bunch of guest episodes planned and happening soon, coming for the rest of the few months, including talking about intuition versus ego, polyamory, and multi-person relationships, and so many other things. Don't forget that you are without a doubt a badass. XOXO, your girl Mad. Love you so freaking much. Bye.